Welcome to the Pay Yourself First podcast. My name is Chris Jolly, and I'm on a mission to financially empower millions of entrepreneurs. I want you to make and keep more money so that you can begin implementing and turbocharging a plan for creating financial freedom your way during the life cycle of your current business without spending a ton of time or becoming a professional investor. You see, most of the financial teachings out there are made for employees, not entrepreneurs. If you wouldn't listen to someone who doesn't have kids about parenting, why take business financial advice from someone without a business? Are you ready to break free of bad advice and follow the trail of other uncommon entrepreneurs so you can get from where you are now to the lifestyle you were aiming to create when you started your business? Then stick around. Here comes another episode of Pay Yourself First, where the only investment we offer is the one you make in yourself. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm very excited, as you know that I always am, because today we have another amazing entrepreneur with us, and his name is Julien Gadea, and he is calling in from all the way in Bangkok today. Julien, how are you?
Very great. Very good. Thank you very much, Chris, for having me in this podcast today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I'm real excited to hear more about your business and your story and share what you're up to with the audience. So like I said, thanks for taking the time to come out of your day. So now your business is called SalesMind AI, and it's a piece of software that helps people communicate with their prospects. That's the real kind of top level view. Can you tell us a little bit more about the product?
Yes, correct. So at the very beginning, we were doing lead generation for our clients. And at the end of the day, they were telling me that they were facing too much clients. So we set up a tool that rely on AI in order to lead the conversation until the prospect is fully qualified, and then it book a meeting with you.
Gotcha. Very cool. Now, you said that you started this because you were helping your clients with lead gen. So what was that business you were doing before this?
It was growth marketing. So we were helping start and big company to acquire leads online.
Gotcha. Very cool. Now, somebody comes to you because they're having trouble keeping up with all of their leads. What is the process like getting started with SalesMind AI, and how does it work exactly?
You start like you want to generate leads through new channel. So mainly we use LinkedIn, but we also integrate cold emailing soon in our as a platform. So it starts, you want new leads, you want new client, you want to talk to new prospect, you want to try some new value proposition, and you come to us with a list of prospects, with a message that you want to say. And then when the lead answering you through the engagement sequence that you're doing, then the AI takes the relay and answer for you to the prospect. So you just have to validate the message and then watch the AI do the sales strategy for you. When the prospect is about to become a client, you book a meeting with him and then you close the deal. You come to us when you want to close more deal and focus time on closing more deal instead of talking to prospect and prospecting.
Gotcha. Very nice. And so now AI, obviously all the rage lately, and it has so many amazing uses and it's great. But then the drawback is that it's not perfect yet. You can tell a lot of times that it's not a human that wrote it. So how do you combat that? Or are you having your clients like go back and re-edit a little bit after, or what does that look like?
Actually, our client now is telling me that they don't have to edit the AI do better at what they will do in maybe 10 to 15 minutes, because that's what it takes. You go to the client profile, you see what he have for who is working. You try to think what can you offer him and how could you offer him. So you don't have time to spend 30 minutes for his prospects when you need to talk to 100 people. At the end of the day, why we're doing that is because we want the collaboration have the biggest impact. And doing that, we putting all the chance for both company to collaborate the best way together.
Gotcha. Now, how long has SalesMind AI been around?
It has been SalesMind at the very beginning, and it was like for 2 years, and we are starting to build the SaaS that help us to leverage the power of AI to find new synergy between company for 5 or 6 months.
Gotcha. And what's been the most challenging part since you've started?
I believe it will be the platform that we rely on, because we wanted to be really fast we were a growth agency before. So we were focusing on acquire lead really fast. And we were used to process every step of doing business really fast. And at the moment we choose to start that software, unique solution appeared to us. We started low-code platform in order to adapt the low-code platform to build an app and then make what we need to have. And at the moment, having that platform have a huge impact on the scalability of the application. But at the same time, we're able to find prototype of the application, find people to talk with, clients who already pay for the service, and get traction enough to get enough interest to invest more time and energy within the product.
Very nice. And now, obviously, this is a great tool for sales. The people who are coming to you and who are using the software, do you find that it's all across the spectrum of people doing sales, or there are specific industries and businesses that you find are more interested in this?
The most interesting people for our platform are the growth agency as well. Why? That's because we're providing plenty of profiles. So within our services, you can plug 10, 50, 100 LinkedIn profiles. So you can answer 100 LinkedIn profiles through only one place with the help of AI. So it means if you have a growth agency and you have 10 clients who you have to manage 10 LinkedIn profile per client, you can easily do it for 1 hour per day, answering the message done by AI. So you just need to validate what the AI say in order to think, write, and push.
Gotcha. Okay, Julien, now tell me a little bit more about your entrepreneurial journey. Now, you said you had a business before this. Was that your first business, or what got you into being a business owner in the first place?
I started to trade things really early. It was primary school. I think I had trade Pokemon card and Game Boy and so on. But when we started business, I started to do business with a vending machine business. So at the first place, I had a dozen of distributors that were put at different places while I was still working within the company. And then it allowed me to get into the entrepreneur journey in a very specific way. And then I started to generate revenue passively. I started to buy my first apartment, and then now I have 7 and 1 house. And that's the passion of passive income. So work really hard at the one moment and then get the fruit of the benefit afterward. I arrived in Bangkok like 1 year ago because I wanted to live with friends. And at the moment I found a job here to get a visa easily. It was the easiest way to find a visa and figure out whether the country and the location would be fine. And I got back contact with some friend of mine when I was in China before. We took back contact and we found out like some of their clients were needed leads. And after that, we figured out like we will do lead generation together and build the SaaS.
Gotcha. Now, obviously, for just about every business, lead generation is one of the most important things. And it's also one of the ones that I find entrepreneurs often get hung up on the most. They don't like doing it. It's hard for them, or whatever the case may be. Now, aside from the obvious where you are giving them back some of their time and helping them with the communication, what other issues do you find that the entrepreneurs you're working with are having around lead generation?
Can I say the question, sorry?
Yeah. So the people who are using the software, other than the obvious, which is they're using it to communicate to prospects, are there other things that they tell you they're having an issue with regarding their lead generation, or is it mostly just the communication part?
It's actually find the whole time to build the strategy for each of the prospect, to have a really personalized approach to the prospect. And then when you come to the meeting, you also need preparation to the meeting. You know what you can offer to the client, you know how you can offer the pain points that you can solve with your product, and that we are providing at the end of the day. So we're providing the automation, and then when you have the meeting with the client, you got a whole document that tell you, okay, the strategies that we used for the client was that. You can emphasize on the pain point of this pain point that triggers the interest of that prospect.
Very nice. Now, Julien, tell me a little bit about your biggest initiative for this year. So if you could get one thing accomplished inside the business before the end of December, what would it be?
Training the model of SalesMind AI. At the moment, we're still relying on some AI technology that doesn't belong to SalesMind. Before the end of December, it will be obvious that we will need to have our own model.
Gotcha. Very nice. Now, you mentioned that you have a number of apartments and that you have some passive income coming in. Do you have other investments that you're into besides real estate? What is that like for you?
I started real estate really young in my life. I was always attracted by that because passive income was really attractive from really young. The idea of getting money every month doing nothing was attractive. It is not exactly how it works actually. It's still a lot of trouble and plenty of work. but it is really satisfying that to have that. Other than that, yeah, a bit of Bitcoin. I'm trading many coin. Actually, I got lucky in 2020 during COVID with the cryptocurrency. At that time, it got interesting opportunities that I said, and crowdfunding as well. Yes.
All right. Now, I want you to imagine that your business is a hose. And as we know, water flows through a hose, but sometimes the hose gets a kink and the flow of the water slows down. So, what is the one thing in your business that's kinking your hose and keeping more cash from coming into the business?
Lead generation. We do lead generation now. We have plenty of profile running around, and because we have a low touch platform, as it is a SaaS, so that's the power of SaaS. You don't need too much people or too much involvement or energy to onboard people.
Yeah, and that really speaks to how much of a challenge lead generation is. That's what you help people with, and it's still your biggest challenge in your business for yourself. If you don't have prospects, then you can't sell, and if you can't sell, you don't have a business. So it's definitely crucial. Now, I want you to put the business aside for a second and tell me, what's your biggest personal financial goal?
I'd like to be able to fund people who have big dreams to change and make the world move forward. In order to that, I'd like to have a space that I can welcome them and advise and helping them sorting and figure out how can they achieve their dream.
Excellent. It's so important, especially early on as an entrepreneur, and especially when you're young, to find that help, because I know there are plenty of people out there who they start a business because they find something they're good at or they like doing, but they don't really know much about actually running a business. And then you can go so far on just knowing what to do inside the business, but if you don't work on the business, obviously it doesn't grow, it doesn't get any bigger. Yeah, so that's definitely awesome that you're interested in that, and something that's very needed for entrepreneurs out there, because it can be a very lonely kind of profession. You don't necessarily at the same level with your employees, so you don't have that same kind of interaction. You have to keep that a little bit separate, and then it's not like there's a million other entrepreneurs just hanging around with you to talk shop with and all that.
Correct. And especially nowadays, you can find digital nomads that can run a complete business from their computer in different places of the world. And it is really easy to see that people love to travel. And especially that's why I'm in Bangkok, actually, because a lot of people passing by, and that's interesting to see how many people can generate and work from the other side of the world.
Yeah, Bangkok's a very special place. I was able to go to Thailand a couple of years ago, right before COVID and all that started, and I had a blast. It's a really cool place. All right, now I want you to tell me a little bit about what financial freedom looks like to you. Let's say you've got the business built up to the place where you don't have to come in every day if you don't want to. You have all the money that you could ever ask for. What are you going to do with your time then?
At that time, it will be more focused on finding how can I help friends. So having time with friends, helping them to do business, because that was driving me at the end of the day. Tonight is midnight and now, and after I still have plenty of work to do, and I love to do that work, and I love to do it now, and I would love to do it with more people like in the future, more friends, having more crazy idea. If I'm able to do anything I want, I will ask ChatGPT to give me 100 list of idea and do all of them. And that's what I will strive me.
Excellent. I love it. Entrepreneurs, I found for the most part, are all about that impact. And it's great to make money, but they usually do it because they like to help people. They like what they do, and they want to make the world a better place, which I think is my favorite part. Somebody told me recently that if you're an actual entrepreneur, you don't ever stop being an entrepreneur. And that's something that I firmly believe.
Correct. I was discussing with an employee a few days ago, and actually we had a problem with that, because I had a personal problem with that, because it was not enough engaged in my sense. And we have a complete different personality between two of them. And one of them, when you ask him something, do it, but he do it more. He give you advice, give you his input, he give you more than what you can expect every time, because you give him, and the other one is just providing enough. Just something that might satisfy you because you asked him. The other one wants to do it. He wants to learn from it. And that's what is really interesting. That's why it is so important for me to find energy in your work.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not aligned with something, you're not going to put your heart and soul into it, and it's just not going to be the same product, the same service. That's why it's so crucial to find people who have the same values as you.
Correct. And that's quite hard to do.
It can definitely be challenging. The payoff is always worth it, though, I feel. All right, Julien. Now, if you could tell me a little bit about how, now, besides the obvious, you're using the AI in the software to help the clients, but how else are you using AI in your business to help you give back more of your time, automate things, and that nature?
We're doing for acquisition on our side as well. But otherwise, we're using GPT nearly every day. And that was what we were discussing with employee as well. When we ask a task, it is important for them to now use GPT. Like most of, let's say, maybe 90% of the tasks have to be performed with ChatGPT. But it is not 100% of the tasks need to be done by ChatGPT. It still need to be monitored and challenged by human. When you ask something to ChatGPT to perform a task, sometimes it could be more time consuming to and get the task with ChatGPT to the results and just do the task yourself. But the result you will get at the end will be way more awesome with GPT. So that's how we integrate as well in the process, day-to-day processes. But otherwise, we also use some tools. I cannot remember the name at the moment. We use some tools that help us to generate slides, content, copy AI as well. And it is still tools that we rely on at some point of the businesses, at some need, for some need. But it is really interesting to see that more and more tools are coming and going to be more accessible and more powerful in the near future.
Now, the question on everybody's mind, are you concerned that AI is going to take over the world?
I believe it should. To be completely honest, I believe it should. It will be a much brighter future if it's unbiased. So if there are no bias, it means we will solve all the corruption problem in the world, and because you cannot corrupt it. And then it's going to be fair if it's without bias. And in that term, we can have a sustainable growth. So I hope it will, but in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely. That getting rid of that bias is so important, and it's just been really interesting to see the way that's been playing out right now. Now, before I let you go, Julien, do you have any parting words or advice for the other entrepreneurs out there?
I'd like to say, if there any dream or any opportunities that you're afraid to do, to reach, to challenge, the challenge is always smaller when you overcome the challenge. So there are no limit to the energy you can put in a project until you really want it.
Absolutely. Yep. Now, anybody who wants to find out more about you and what you do or SalesMind AI, where can they go to do that?
You can go on my LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the main acquisition channel. Go on there. You will be updated often.
Very cool. I want to just thank you again for taking the time out of your day and for meeting me so late in the evening for you. I really appreciate that. It's been a wonder having you on. You've had a lot of valuable insights, and I know the audience is going to love this. So thanks again.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And if you're listening out there and you've enjoyed, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and leave us one of those 5-star reviews. It helps us out a ton to get the word out to more entrepreneurs. And if you happen to be an amazing online entrepreneur like our guest today, Julien, and you want to come on the show to talk about your business and what you're up to, we would love to do that. You can go to pyfpodcast.com. That's the letters pyfpodcast.com. And we'd love to have you on the show. Julien, thanks again. Everybody else, we'll see you next time.
If you've listened this far, chances are you're an entrepreneur looking to become more financially literate and create financial freedom for yourself from your business.
The Pay Yourself First podcast
is definitely here to help with that. My goal is to continue to share what I've learned about using your business as the tool to create financial freedom. But let's face it, it would take me years to share with you everything you need to know via these episodes. Creating financial freedom is something that most people never even consider, let alone make a plan for or take action towards. It's something almost no one was taught anything about. Doing it as an entrepreneur is even more challenging, especially without support. So if you're ready to get clear on what financial freedom looks like for you, come up with an action plan, and get the support systems and accountability you need, I invite you to consider the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur. I created the program to help entrepreneurs just like you get a handle on their personal and business finances and start building confidently towards financial freedom. And it's how you can discover ways to take 10 years off your retirement, add an extra 5 or 6 figures to your portfolio, and finally get clear on what numbers you should be tracking in your business and why. Together, we'll gain clarity around your financial goals and what being financially free would actually look like for you. Then we'll put together a customized game plan to get you there and the accountability to see you through. And by the way, you're also going to get all the spreadsheets you need to run your numbers, lifetime access to the materials, including any updates, and entry into our members-only community. In addition to all the knowledge, coaching, community, and systems that you need to create financial freedom from your business, you'll also receive a free financial assessment, a retirement planning session, and guided meditation aimed at helping you embody the feeling of true financial freedom. So yeah, you can just listen to the free content on these podcasts to help you move towards becoming a financially free entrepreneur. And sure, you'll likely see some results, or you can make the decision to commit to learning, implementing, and embodying what you need to know to create the financially free life you dreamed of when you started your business journey. Click the link in the show notes to answer a quick questionnaire, and you'll be on your way to joining the abundantly infinite entrepreneur.